Okay, so this is a school bus and it's been sitting out all winter, and the problem we have is that this tire has a slow leak in it, and the tire has deflated to the point where it's no longer attached to the rim. So we've sort of cleaned it up and put on bead sealer, and I've been trying to inflate this tire and get it to seat, but I can't get the bead to grab, and the tire won't seal. So my experiment is I'm going to use some crack sealer, and this stuff says that it's airtight, water resistant and so on, but I'm going to use it to try and hold a temporary seal around this tire enough to let us get some air pressure inside and get that bead to seal up. So I'm going to give her a go around the rim and we'll see what happens. Orange. There we go. Get that nice tight air seal and we'll go all the way around. Especially down at the bottom where I'm having the most trouble with it. So we're going to give it a few minutes to set, harden up, hopefully form that air seal, and then we'll put on the pump and we'll see what happens. So I think we're a little bit early. This is foam that's coming out with the air pressure, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry and harden a little bit longer, and make sure that this sort of thing doesn't happen. So we'll try it again in a short while. Alright, so we waited another hour, and now this stuff has firmed up quite a bit more. Where it was bleeding has also firmed up, bled from a couple of places, and hopefully it's enough to hold it in place. So we're going to give her another go and see if we can let the pressure build up. Alright, so it may seem a little crazy, but I think this might actually be holding. I've been letting it run for a couple of minutes and the needle is starting to go up. You can see we're getting right up there, nearing 30 psi and climbing, and that just from a little bit of foam. Awesome. So we've taken the bus tire up to around 40 psi, and it still seems to be holding nicely, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim away some of the excess foam from around the tire. And I don't want to damage the tire, but I want to try and cut away at this foam and get any of the excess off it that I can. But make sure that your blade is not going in far enough to damage the tire. So I'll take my time and trim this away, and I'll be careful with it, and hopefully we'll have the tire cleaned up a little bit more. Or you might just get used to having orange rims, start a new trend. One of the things I found when I was cutting this foam away is that the inside portion of it was still a gummy liquid, which means that when the air doesn't get to it, it doesn't dry. So it's possible that the residue that's left inside the rim is still a liquid, or a gum at any rate, that's going to move around and fill in any gaps wherever there's leakage. As you can see, I've scraped it away. The best tool I found for the job was actually a paint scraper. It worked better than the X-Acto knife because there wasn't the risk that I would damage the tires with it, and it was able to cut away the foam nicely. So while it may not be the perfect way of doing the job, if you have no other option, it may just work for you. Get you back running again. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not a mechanic, just a homebody working away as best you can. So take my advice with a grain of salt. Have a great day. can't believe that's working. That's incredible.
I'm still videotaping. Yeah, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.